Do you remember what you had for breakfast this morning? That catchy tune on the radio? The math problems you did earlier? What about your social security number? Why do we remember some things but forget others? It all has to do with the way your brain files the information you process. There are several steps in the stages of memory, all of which we will cover in this video. The first part of forming any memory is called a sensory memory. This encompasses all sensations received by the brain, but it only lasts a second. There are two types of sensory memory. The first is called iconic memory. Iconic is the visual memory. You must hold the visual information for 1/4 of a second or more. The next sensory memory is the echoic memory. This is auditory information. You must hold auditory information for 1 to 2 seconds. Encoding is the first step in creating a new memory. It allows the item that is perceived to be converted to be stored within the brain. The short-term memory is the working memory, which can remember 5 to 7 chunks of information for a couple seconds. Testing the short-term memory. In these simple experiments, we see that the subject cannot recall all the perceived information, even though they had enough time to read and memorize each of the words, thus showing that the short-term memory has a limited amount of item retention space. The long-term memory is a semi-permanent record of all we know. While these memories are encoded indefinitely, without rehearsals, the memories might weaken over time. The long-term memory can also be split into multiple parts. The first is declarative. Declarative is split into 2 different parts. Episodic memory is the memory of events you have experienced. Time, place, emotions, and the 5 W's are examples of this type. Somatic memory is memory of general knowledge, such as facts, ideas, meanings, and concepts. The other type is non-declarative. This includes procedural memory, and it's in charge of knowing how to do things, such as motor skills like walking and riding a bike. We are bad at passive learning. While you might think you are retaining the formulas while you doodle, you are actually setting yourself up for failure. Why we forget. If you never learn the information to begin with, you might have an encoding failure. This information never reached your long-term memory. However, we do forget over time. Ebbinghaus curve shows the model of decay or fading memory. To overcome this, one must constantly review the information. How to get better, and study tips. When studying, space out the information. This allows for better retention of it. This is because the information is committed to long-term memory instead of short-term memory, allowing you to better recall the facts. By using a linking story, you can connect certain facts with easier to remember ideas. Many experiments show that exercise and meditation have been shown to increase memory. So go make some memories.